First, we're working developing news on a story that was first breaking last night. We have new information now from Tiverton police about what led to the deaths of two men in their 80s.
And police tell us one man shot the other, led police on a chase, then was shot and killed after he opened fire on officers. Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado is live in Tiverton with the developing details.
Both the suspect and victim are dead in this case. The 80-year-old suspect was out on parole when police say he shot and killed an 81-year-old man in a cemetery. Police say the two elderly men had prearranged to meet in the Pecasset Hill Cemetery. That's where they say 80-year-old Edward Acquisto shot and killed 81-year-old John Cloud from Kingston, Massachusetts.
The victim and the suspect knew each other.
Tiverton Police Chief Thomas Blakely described what happened next. Police chased a black car described by witnesses as being driven by the gunman. The chase briefly went into Fall River, then back to Tiverton, where it ended on Ford Farm Road. Blakely says Acquisto stopped and fired at officers.
They did return fire, and the suspect was struck.
Acquisto died. Police say two Fall River officers and one Tiverton officer fired their guns. They aren't yet saying which officer hit Acquisto. State police and the Attorney General are involved in investigating the officer-involved shooting.
Because the death is involved, our practice has been to present this matter to a grand jury.
Boy, this is like a shock.
Acquisto's next-door neighbor, Jean Medeiros, describes him as a tiny, frail old man.
Well, he's very fragile, very delicate. I mean, he just about can walk, let's put it that way.
Still strong enough, though, to wield a gun, according to police. A woman who was home at Acquisto's house did not want to comment. And those three police officers who did fire their weapons are on administrative leave, as is the policy in both Fall River and Tiverton. None of them were hurt. Now, we've also learned Acquisto was previously convicted of manslaughter and sexual assault. He was out on parole. We'll go into that criminal past coming up at 6. Live in Tiverton with the Mobile Newsroom, Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.
We continue to track a homicide investigation out of Tiverton. It ended with the murder suspect being shot by police. And today, investigators revealed new details on the suspect, victim, and the crime.
And we're also learning more about the suspect's criminal past. New at 6 tonight, Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado is live in Tiverton with that information and the latest on the investigation.
80-year-old Edward Acquisto served decades in prison for two horrific crimes. He was out on parole when police say he shot and killed 81-year-old John Cloud. This is Edward Acquisto's mugshot from the late 1970s. He served decades in prison and was out on parole when police say he met another elderly man at this Tiverton cemetery Monday evening, shooting and killing him. He was 81-year-old John Cloud of Kingston, Massachusetts. Police say Acquisto led them on a car chase, briefly crossing into Fall River, eventually ending on Ford Farm Road in Tiverton, where police say Acquisto stopped and fired at officers.
Did return fire, and the suspect was struck.
Two Fall River officers and one Tiverton officer fired their guns. The state police and Attorney General have joined to investigate whether the shooting was justified.
Because the death is involved, our practice has been to present this matter to a grand jury.
This Woonsocket police mugshot is from Acquisto's deep criminal past. He was convicted of two crimes in that city: manslaughter for beating a man to death and the sexual assault of an ex-girlfriend. He got a life sentence for that sexual assault, but was paroled in 2003, only to kill a man again, according to police.
Well, he's very fragile, very delicate.
Acquisto has aged decades since that mugshot. To age 80, his next-door neighbor, Jean Medeiros, shocked he's suspected of a homicide.
I mean, he just about can walk, let's put it that way, you know, there's no weight to him.
Police are not yet saying how Acquisto knew the victim, John Cloud, nor why they were meeting at the cemetery. Police did say Acquisto was known to go to that cemetery to read the Bible. Live in Tiverton with the Mobile Newsroom, Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.